Damn. Now she got me frazzled. All right. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Small Guys Podcast. Today we are talking John Wick 4. John Wick uncovers a path to defeating the High Table, but before he can earn his freedom, Wick must face off against a new enemy with power alliances across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes. This movie has a 94 critic score and a 94 audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Boys, what did you guys think?
John is back. John Wick is back.
John's back and better than ever, baby.
I can't believe
For
they made a
his
movie about the
fourth
Fortnite
movie.
guy, but like pretty
Horrible.
sick. Can't believe Fortnite could
Crazy.
afford this.
No, this is easily in contention for movie of the year. I know we're only in
So far.
March, but I mean, dude,
Don't
every
forget
second of
about
it was
Winnie the
good.
Pooh, dude.
I didn't see it, so that's off my list.
Cocaine Bear?
Nope, it's probably dead last.
65?
Yeah, but before we go completely off track within the first 30 seconds, phenomenal fucking movie, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And when you run through the four of them, and it's funny, me and Spencer, friend of the pod, great friend in real life to all of us, we were talking about it because he picked me up because I had literally just got home. I felt so bad. Friday night, I get home, dude. I literally say what's up to my mom. Spencer picks me up 10 minutes later. I didn't get back till like fucking 1 a.m. And I was like, all right, good to be home. But anyway, so me and Spencer are driving there, and he goes, dude, I always forget that this is taking place within the span of like a fucking week. Like you would think between like 1 and 2, there was like maybe a little bit of a gap, but no, it just keeps rolling. And then obviously 2 to 3 go back to back, and then 3 just picked up or 4 picked up right after 3. So you're just going. And I think that's just like a big thing that we forget about because again, it's just moving like that. And then again, you see the action pack that they have in all these movies, especially this one. And it's just like it's great pacing, and I fucking love it.
They do a really good job though with that set of like integrating each movie like one to the next without like needing like how if there's like a TV show how like in between seasons you get like a recap. You don't really need that here because they kind of like do a good job of explaining it within the first 10 minutes without giving you that like traditional like here's what happened in the last movie. Like so it does a really good job of like kind of just flowing to the next one. But that is a good point. I've like forgot about that.
Yeah,
It is,
again,
the span of a
you
week.
think about it and you think maybe if it's that close, like maybe like a month or two, but no, it's like all in the span of like 10 days, not even. Like dude just doesn't sleep. And
Each movie is kind of like a scene change. That's how you could say it.
Yeah,
But
dude,
this was easily the best shot John Wick out of the 4.
yeah,
I don't know if you guys can
I'm glad we're
attest to
starting
that.
off rip with that, dude. This
Oh,
movie, I was telling my coworkers about it, and they're like, "Oh, we know you saw it," and I was like, "Oh, dude, I could talk about it all day," but they hadn't seen it. But that's one of the things I said. I was like, some of these shots, like you're like forgetting that you're supposed to see this like action bang bang movie. The way that they were hitting these camera angles,
I
it
don't
was
think you
fucking
can forget
awesome.
that.
No.
Well, you can't.
But even
like,
the
I get what
still
you're saying.
shots when he's just standing there and it's like the one of my best shots or one of my favorite shots was when
Your
he's
best
on the
shots.
rooftop.
Thanks, Aiden.
No, what if he's on the rooftop in Tokyo and
Yeah,
it's
when
that
you
red
first see
line
him.
lights and he like comes out of the shadows and he's just standing there. It's so
I
good.
They
think
did a Sorry,
I
man.
was just gonna
Okay.
say really quick, my
Yeah, go
favorite
ahead.
shot has to be that church scene, dude. The second church scene, and they have the lower angle, and it's him walking in, and you
Yep.
just hear the click clack of his shoes, dude. That was one of my favorite fucking shots throughout the whole film.
I mean, we can all say that the best scene was the dragon's breath scene from the overhead bird's eye
Yes.
view of like a
Yes.
third person video game type.
Yeah,
And it goes for, like, 3
mainly
minutes
because
straight.
I mean Josh pointed that out in the theater. He like leaned over me. He's like, "Look how cool this is! Like this is all one take." And it is really neat. I don't think we've seen that in an action movie, or if we have, not in one
Not
that's
like that.
big and recognizable. Maybe it has been done before. If there's a smaller film, then they deserve credit too. But no, it was really cool to see how they did that. It's just like it looks like what is that style called in a video game when you're like overhead like
I
that?
want to say it's like third person, but it's more of like an aerial third
Yeah, it's
person
like an
view.
overhead almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like arcade style in a way.
Yeah, it was like Dead
Yeah.
Ops.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I really liked how this movie was. I mean, obviously, it was what was the runtime on it?
2 hours,
3
49
hours.
minutes.
Yeah, 2 hours and 49
That would
minutes.
be something I would critique personally.
That's the only thing. The opening was kind of cool. Like obviously that opening scene with who is it? Lawrence Fishburne. When he's going, he's just like
Ooh.
doing that gospel or whatever that
Yeah, he's just yelling into the empty tunnel, bro.
Yeah,
like
and it's
talk
just
about the
echoing.
scripture. Yeah, and shout out as above, so below, because now we know that
Uh,
abandon all hope who ye enters here is the portal, like to hell. So when he said that, I was like, good thing the boys know that. I plugged them on that movie.
I can't believe
yeah, that's what I thought right away.
Yeah, no,
but,
now I have to drop my score on John Wick.
but
but
then
no.
each of the beats or the bass, just that heavy bass every time was just him punching that fucking
Ooh, in
roped
the
up
beginning there.
yeah,
No, were
roped
you
up
guys hoping
little
that he'd break it?
target.
I kind of expected him to break it. When the movie started, he'd go
Yeah.
boom, and it would snap.
It'd be sweet if it was like a tree, but then we see him fighting a tree. There was a part where he was punching a tree, or no?
That's Creed.
Yeah, you're right.
But
But no, I mean that would have
I
been
thought of
sick if
Creed
he
3 when
would've-
I was watching it.
If he would have broke it, it would have been sick. But yeah, I mean it obviously wasn't a tree, so never mind.
It was a 2x4. It's
my only
close enough.
critique about that opening was like, what
Probably steel.
they just have that thing ready to go for him to burn and like separate into the separate ways. Like every time he resets that, no shot. Also, the hell is Lord Fishburne yelling at?
That's
the
just
king,
his character because
He's the
that's the
king,
cool
yeah.
thing about Lawrence Fishburne's
Oh.
character is that he's supposedly supposed to be like the main role in Ballerina, the TV show that we're supposed to get here pretty soon. So
Nice.
he's gonna have a big role in that. And it's cool that they have the Continental back too, because Ian McShane's character is obviously gonna reprise his role. Hopefully.
Yeah, I
But,
like that. I like how he worked that in as an angle. And he goes, he always wants something. He goes, don't we all?
But rest in peace to the GOAT, Lance Reddick.
Yeah, I was gonna say we gotta talk about.
I kind of hate that we saw his death on screen.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Poor.
Yeah.
talk
I mean,
about, like,
yeah,
just-
it's.
I mean, it's how it was written, but I felt like
Yeah.
it hit.
Obviously, it hits a lot harder.
It hit harder,
does.
but at the same, I think it hit harder because you're sitting there and you're like, oh, he acted out this death scene, and then like as this movie came out the week before, unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, that's how
Just
close
like,
we were, right?
ugh.
Exactly, like a week almost.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like at the same time though, and even though we didn't know it at the time, it was kind of like a send off. Like all of us were like, "What the fuck?" And then what's his name tells him to put his headstone just as loving friend, and I kind of feel like that goes with like everything in real life. We've never heard a bad thing about this guy, and
No, we
it's,
didn't.
And again, I think in a way, again, it did suck having to see his dying scene. It's like seeing Ray Liotta and Blackbird. But again, I think this was a good one, and maybe they went back and changed something, and I don't know if they did or not, but I think this was a pretty good send off in a way.
I don't know
and
if I
dude,
saw a
the
tribute
guy's
to him.
66 too. Isn't that nuts? Doesn't he look like he's
Yeah.
like early 50s?
No, I
feel
thought
like?
he was 60
only
years
like,
old.
yeah, I thought he was
He
only
was 60,
60.
Yeah,
Josh.
60 years
Oh,
old.
he was 60 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, still, I think he still looked at least 10, 15 years younger.
I mean,
I thought I was shocked. to see
60
he
is
was in the
crazy
60s.
because, like, in my boat, like, my parents are like, what, 5-6 years away from that? Like,
So that's
60 is young as shit.
when
Yeah.
when they said that he passed away at 60, I went, it's a little bit close to like people
Yeah.
in my life's age. And like, it's not like, usually with actors, the first thing, at least I always think it's kind of a stereotype, but like, oh, what drugs were they on? Oh, what would they take? Where this guy just said like, nope, just unfortunately had like a heart attack. Like, looked like he was, I mean, if you look,
but
they said it was just a heart attack. And if you look at him, he doesn't look like he's someone that's like out of shape, or, I mean, maybe he had some, pre-existing
underlying health
Yeah,
conditions.
well, that's like, and again, you got to remember too the shit about Chadwick. Before Chadwick passed, everyone's like, "Yo, this guy looks drugged out." Little did we all know he was going through fucking chemotherapy, fighting cancer.
Yeah.
So it's like shit like that too, which makes you think, and it's sad.
I
but
know
again,
the actors that
the non-problematic ones,
the non-problematic
Mhm.
just
Always,
seem
dude,
like
it's
good
fucked
people,
up.
great roles that they have, but we still have people around like what's his name, Kevin Spacey, or
fucking Harvey Weinstein's still alive somehow. That piece of shit.
So
Those are
real
the
quick, I'm
people that are
looking
still
at
alive.
the cast list, and Shamir Anderson, who played Tracker with the dog.
Mhm.
I thought it was the same actor that played in that new Candyman movie, but it wasn't. It's showing that he was in John Wick 1, which is pretty cool. I don't know if he's obviously not a main character, but maybe he's in there like somewhere as like a quick cameo. But But no, I mean, he's not in anything that we've seen. So I
Hmm.
mean, I thought he did a pretty good job for, kind of having like his Hollywood debut,
Did you
like a
think,
big
Aiden, that it
blockbuster.
was, or any of you guys, did you think it was a little bit strange that his name was like Nobody with that
Yeah, like Bob
movie
Odenkirk
Nobody?
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why it was like you couldn't have said anything else besides nobody. Like, who are you? I'm nobody. Like, all right, we've
I'm
seen this one
anybody.
before.
Okay,
Yeah,
Mr.
you could have been, I'm
Nobody.
somebody. That's what he should have said. Who are
I'm a
you? I'm someone.
problem.
Yeah, I'm somebody. Or just said I'm Tracker. Like that's
Well,
it.
there's also a Mr. Nobody in like the Fast and Furious franchise too.
Yeah, there is. He's the one that
So.
saved Han when Han was
Yeah.
supposed to die.
Yeah,
They
but
wrote
those
him in.
Fast and Furious is a little different than like John Wick and that
Are
Nobody
they though?
movie.
Because you
Nobody
got
Still
movie.
action movie,
you
though.
got
Are
assassins
identical.
running around without police showing up because it's an alternate
That's
universe.
true. That's true.
That
But
is
the
the best
premise
part of
of
these John
both
Wick
of
movies,
them
man.
Mhm.
is like this badass that takes care of business.
Yeah.
Right.
Although John Wick seems like he's more mission oriented in a way, where in Nobody, what's that guy's name in the movie? Do we know?
Which one, the blind guy?
I was gonna
Right.
say,
Oh, he's talking
Rob.
about the movie.
Nobody.
Yeah, he's talking about Bob Odenkirk's character.
Oh,
Yeah, what's his name?
I thought he was just a dad and someone like stole
know.
his daughter's watch.
Yeah, but then Hutch is his name, and then he
Hutch,
finds
yeah.
out that the bracelet's under the couch, and he's like, "Oh man, like I didn't even need to do all that."
I've only seen that movie once. It's been a while.
Now,
What did you guys think of Kane?
I was gonna say we got to talk
Kane was
about the
sick.
fucking goat, the anti-hero of the
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
movie, dude.
It's just so
Kane
good that he
was so badass when he's sitting there, dude, and he's just eating the food, and they're like, "Hey, do your job."
That's how you know some shit was about to go down too, and I love it. I'm not sure if he's really blind in real life. Maybe someone can
don't-
look that
I
up.
don't think so.
I
I'm
don't
looking at his
believe he
picture.
is.
I was gonna
but,
say
he did it. Like that's probably the most realistic adaptation to a blind person that we've seen in a film. Like playing that
He's
character.
59.
Well,
Fair.
the I forgot the actor that played the blind person in Rogue One, but they did pretty well too.
Yeah, he was good.
But yeah, I think
wasn't
you're right.
wasn't this dude in Rogue One?
No,
I don't
Okay,
know.
did you
think
guys know
it's
that
Donnie Yen.
Keanu Reeves is 58?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to the
Wow.
Smart List podcast and he said that. I was like, damn, they're like, he doesn't look a day over 38.
No, he
dude,
does
but he's
not.
been around for so fucking
Damn,
long.
that's
dude.
who he is. He did play in Rogue One.
Yeah, that's what
he
I
was a
thought.
blind guy.
Oh, was
Yeah,
he?
And he's an IP man.
Well, he wasn't
Oh.
the blind guy because wasn't the blind guy what's his name?
Yeah, the blind guy was like much older, right?
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's him.
I thought the blind dude was black.
No.
No.
No. I thought
No.
it was fuck.
No,
is
he was a
not.
blind
He is-
guy.
He is not
Oh, okay.
blind in real life. Confirmed.
Oh wow, so he's played two different blind people in two different.
Wow, he's
movies.
killing
his
it,
job.
dude. That
His
fucking
thing.
That's
scene.
crazy.
Okay, so when they
Is he
Yeah,
blind
he's
in IP Man?
I don't know. I've seen those movies so long ago.
He's in Mulan too.
No, he's
the
not
live
blind.
action
in
one.
him. He's not blind.
when
in
they
him.
after they tell him to do his job and he's like, all right, fine, like beats up those guys and then runs into that side kitchen and he starts putting the things on the wall and you're like, all right, these
Doorbells.
explosives or what? And
Yeah.
they're fucking doorbells and he's just whooping the shit out of these guys. And it was kind of cool because you really didn't see him kill any of his boys' men. Like, yeah, he's there to do a job, and yeah, he wished his friend would have came in peacefully, but like he didn't kill his men. The other guys were just shooting them in the base. He was just whooping the shit out of them.
No, he
Yeah, and
stabbed him on the ground.
Well,
so
I was
they're
gonna say
definitely
a
dead.
couple of them were stabbed, but other ones he just knocked the fuck out and kept
No.
going.
I liked his fighting style because obviously he's blind, but he would do the like quadruple tap with the cane into their chest, so like he's confirming the kill, and then also when he was just doing the combo on the dude, like the fucking speed bag,
Mhm.
like that shit's sick.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, you go ahead.
My thing is that like great ass movie. It was enjoyable from start to finish, but I mean the only takebacks I could say about this film would be the runtime. I felt like some of the fight scenes alone were a little too long. Like they're good, like, but you got to think of like if you're gonna watch this movie like right now, like or you're gonna watch it in 5 years from now. Like some of them just feel like they take a little too long, and you
So-
start analyzing the fight, and you're looking at the villains that are coming at them, and they're like all standing back while one guy's going, and the other guy's shooting from a mile away, and he's not hitting one bullet. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that's like
I
obviously
feel
it's
like
for
that's what
fun,
gives
it's
it that
entertainment.
Kill Bill vibe, though, like the 40-minute
Yeah.
action scenes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, all in a row like that.
Mhm.
Oh yes.
I
They
get
had
what you
a
mean, though. I
lot
mean,
of they had a
I was
lot of
just
Kill Bill. My bad, a lot
no,
of
you're
Kill
fine.
Bill. Like giving it praise. A
Oh,
lot
for
of the
sure.
shots, especially when they were in Japan and all that.
Yeah.
That was
Well, there
beautiful.
was
I love
moments
that.
when we were watching it, and I had to get up and pee. I mean, I didn't, but
I
like
had a pee.
I was like, this action scene's 45 minutes. Like, I'm not gonna be able to get up and go, and I don't want to miss anything. And then like in between the action scenes, story, right, that I don't want to miss. So, but I get you.
I wanted to add on to kind of what Aiden said, how the action scenes did seem long, and that would be another, like, I'm just being a like a critic, I guess, saying that I would have liked if they would have changed it up a little bit. Like, I think it was actually Aiden also that mentioned it was John Wick 3 with the knife scene, and that one awesome scene. I would have liked to have seen like there's that, like, literally I think a 15-minute straight segment of him with nunchucks.
Yeah.
Give him something different to hold in his
Yeah, the
hand at some
nunchucks
point,
was cool.
just to change it up a little bit. And
Yeah.
the other thing that I'll add on is at points, and I know John Wick is supposed to be seen as like this crazy, badass guy, but there's at points where it almost feels like a little too goofy. Like, okay, like how is he still going? Like,
Or we talked
I
about
think,
when he
But
throws
then, I
himself
mean,
out of the fucking window.
yeah. But we're
Dude,
4
we
movies
all
deep, and I mean,
laughed.
that's what you
yeah,
expect.
like the whole theater was fucking rolling, dude. You hear the one dude, you just yell out, go, "Oh hell no!"
And you heard the Wilhelm scream towards the beginning of the movie when the
Yeah.
guy falls down the stairs
Mhm.
immediately. That
Yeah,
was
no, but
good.
it was funny when he jumped out to the window. I looked at Hedvina and I go, "Aim for the bushes."
Yeah. It felt like 3 or 4 stories too.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, like
He's like
four.
he's broke his back in every fucking movie doing some shit like that.
Yeah,
it
and
is-
and to add on to it, if this is the course of a week, how is he
Yeah.
not completely paralyzed?
So I looked it up. The director said it's 8 or 9 months for all
Oh.
8 or 9 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Still though, I mean, it's
Yeah.
too close together. I'd say. What did you guys think of Bill Skarsgård as the villain in this movie?
Dude, he was dope.
I thought he was
I
good.
liked him.
I wish he
I liked
wasn't
him.
such a bitch though. I wish he would have fucking
Nah.
fought hand to hand, but I guess he
Yeah.
got what he deserved at the end.
Well, my only negative thing I could say on his character would be that he's this powerful guy on the high table, and we don't see him do any killing. Like,
No,
is
not
he an
at all.
established assassin, or is he just high up in this like
He's
ranking?
somebody's
He seems
nephew.
more. Yeah, he
I-
seems
I
more like
will-
someone that wears the suit and doesn't get his
Yeah,
hands.
like,
But you
he
know what
just-
that reminds me
he's
of, though?
just
I kind of
a-
like that aspect because it's kind of like the Lex Luthor to Superman. Like, Lex Luthor's not going to beat Superman in a fist fight, but like he's got the money and he's got the brains to do all this
He's got
crazy
the
shit to fuck
power.
Superman up.
I think
Yeah,
that's
and
a
that's
really
what
good
kind of
point,
reminds me of
Josh.
that.
That is a
Yeah.
really good
Because
point, Joshua.
he actually says at some point, what's his name in the movie?
Marcus?
Marquise.
Oh, Marquise.
Marquise. He's the Marquise.
The Marquise.
Yeah, he's the Marquise, and he's replaceable.
He says that the High Table gave him all the available resources that he needs to kill John. Like, whatever it is, we'll give it. So I feel like the
Yeah.
Lex Luthor comparison is a.
Oh, you mean John Wick?
Yeah.
I loved how I love how in the third movie the elder was like this huge new character that we got introduced to, and then opening scene of this movie he kills him. That's how you know
right
it's
in the
like,
face.
yeah, it's like, all right. And you didn't think he was gonna kill him, and then he pulls the gun out. He's like,
Yep.
I don't know what he says, but it's hilarious. And then he just shoots him, and then it like cuts to John Wick forward. It's like, oh fuck. So like there are no rules, and he's literally gonna kill every single person in this movie.
Now we've talked about the runtime here. Did you guys like the way it was broken up though? Like
Into, like, 3
personally,
movies.
yeah, I was gonna say personally, I didn't mind the length. It was fun. We were all in there having a good fucking time.
Mhm.
Like personally, I haven't had that much fun in the cinema since like Endgame. Like
Yeah.
that was a good time with my friends, just sitting there.
was.
All of us were like little schoolgirls, like ah, like it
Well,
was fun. What?
I'm sorry, just on the runtime
No,
real
you're
quick.
good, you're
I
good.
do want to say, like, obviously we will get to the end and talk about that all, but like as a send off. I think this one being the longest one makes sense. So
yeah,
Yeah,
100%. And I was gonna
100%.
say that earlier when you guys were talking about that. You got to remember, this is a send off at this point. Like, sure, they'll do a prequel and he'll be in it, or maybe he'll pop up in someone's memory later on in a different one. But like, as far as we know, like this is the end of our John Wick, and I'm kind of okay with that. Like, this was a good send off.
I'm
He
okay
got his
with that.
happy ending. He got loving husband on his grave. Like, shout out that. Like, that's awesome. But to get back to what I was saying, I like how it, like, yeah, they don't just sit there and like hold your hand as to what happened. You kind of like, yeah, you have the background if you watch the other 3 movies, but you get this whole hour kind of to figure out what the fuck John Wick did and what the fuck he's been doing since we last saw him. And then it ends with what's her name getting shot, and then her dad dies, and then from there it becomes a redemption movie. And then that one of my favorite, actually probably my favorite scene, is in that second act, and then you get to the third and final act, which is the actual true revenge. He's gonna get what the fuck he came for. I thought that was broken up very nicely.
I really did
Yeah.
like the concierge for like the girl that played that, the assassin.
Yes, I
'Cause
imagine
we get
she's gonna
introduced to
flip.
her. Yeah, we get introduced to her, and you don't think that she has any affiliation with any of that. You think she's just a worker, all that, and then shit hits the fan, and she just takes everything off. And she's got this all black suit on. It's like, damn, I couldn't
With
wait
her,
to see it.
Aiden, they slowly learn more about her over the course of
Yeah.
like 10 minutes. Like at first she's the concierge, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, are you gonna enjoy that dinner later with your
you got
daughter?"
dinner
And
with
then
your
you're-
daughter.
And then you're like, "Wait a second, I think that's the dad." And then, like you said, all of a sudden she just boom rips off the thing she had on, and
The
she's
robe.
got this all black, like bulletproof
Yeah,
assassin
and she's like,
suit
I was
on.
gonna say, it's not only bulletproof, but then she's got like blades and arrows on her too. Like, she's ready to go.
So sick. Especially with the I mean, everything's just cool about it. You gotta think like even shit you don't even think about, like when all the guys are in there drinking and smoking, and then he's like, "We
Yeah.
have visitors," and then they go into the fridge and it's no food, it's just
He
all
goes,
guns.
"We have visitors. Show them
I-
hospitality," and they all
I
just like
knew
nod their head.
exactly what that meant.
Oh,
yeah.
But
Dude,
it's just it's so good that they stood their ground too, man, because it could have been a lot less like fun, you
yeah.
know.
What? Dude, he has that best friend quote, and I'm gonna fuck it up, but he's like, "Friendship doesn't mean anything when it's convenient," I think is what he said, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, I sat there while we watched this all unfold. I was like, "That's a real ass friend right there."
Yeah. But I'm surprised he killed him.
Yeah, but
I mean,
again,
it's
that
good,
just-
but then
that's
again,
why
like,
that's why I think we're gonna see, what's her name, Akira.
yeah.
I think we're gonna see her again chasing down Kane.
Well, yeah, but that was
Yeah,
also
we know
when
her
he goes,
dad was
"I'll be
in Bullet
waiting for
Train,
you."
too.
Yeah, he was the main guy, right?
Yeah.
Like the
He
main
says,
dad.
The older, yeah,
Yeah.
the
When
grandpa.
looked
Kane,
that up
Kane
for you,
turns around
Brian.
and says, "I'll be waiting for you." Like that's a hard ass.
Yeah, dude, that was hard as
Scene. She's
fuck.
limping out, and then they meet up at the train. Like, oh, dude.
Yep. And then
She
end
just
act
disappears.
2 or end act 1 into act 2
I
redemption arc. We find out John Wick can be let back in, and he can get all grievances like fixed. Like, everything will be a-okay if he can get nominated for a duel, but he has to get back into the family, and to get back into the family, he has to go kill the Russian. And that scene, dude, in the club was so
badass.
fucking badass. I loved that. Every shot was super cool. The fight was super cool. You get to see Kane, John Wick, and Tracker all link up and fight for like a common purpose, even though they all want to fucking kill each other.
Yeah, I like how Tracker was there too, like just randomly.
Like, he's so
he's
good at
always
his
there.
fucking job, dude. He was just
Yeah.
popping up.
Yeah, nah, he's sick. I love the Tracker backpack scene. I thought that was badass when they're in the hotel before we get the Dragon's Breath scene.
Turns it around.
Yeah, he turns it around, flips it, pulls the
Yeah,
strings,
yeah.
and then just starts shitting on him. I was like, just shit that like, because cool like action scenes like that, like you've never seen before, are just so good, and it has such a good payoff when you see it like get done successfully, you know.
Yeah, and then too, I was shocked when Clancy Brown was on the screen. He did the voice for Mr. Krabs, and he was in Shawshank and all that, and
Yeah,
he narrates the duel or I guess referees it, right, or whatever,
Yeah,
for the
sick.
table, and yeah, you hear his voice right away, and you're like, oh my god, that's him. Like, you just know his voice.
Money.
Yeah, from us growing up. So I thought that was kind of funny that he was in this. He did a good job. He did a
What
great job.
about was Klaus your guys' favorite?
Yeah.
I'm Klaus. That shit was funny.
Yeah. Also, the torture machine that they had him on, bro. You think that they're just gonna hang him? They have his feet pinned. They're about to rip that boy in half.
Oh god, I didn't see that.
Dude, like, yeah, because I was
He'll
like,
take his head
why
off.
isn't he dangling? But no, instead he's like completely stretched out, ready to fucking be ripped. Did
Ugh.
we
I
talk
like
about the hand scene?
Yeah, the hand scene was pretty good.
Oh my god!
What was the
looked at it
choice he
again.
gave him? He goes, "You can either
You
be
can
with
pull
us
the
or
knife
against us or
out."
whatever."
Yeah, yeah. Vina looks at me, and goes, "Oh, dude, they're gonna fucking show it." And I go, "Yes, they are."
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
and it's
still
smack
thinking
dab in the
about
middle
it.
of his hand.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was right on the crease too. And
Yeah.
he let it
I
rip
mean,
all
as
over.
a kid, someone cut me like right here with scissors, so it's possible there's no bone there, but it still fucking hurts.
Yeah.
Ooh, that
Yeah.
just thinking
But
about
I
it.
love that.
Nerves.
That because
Yeah,
that kind of
I turned away.
established the point
Yep.
of Bill Skarsgård's character. Like, all right, maybe he is fucking evil or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like he really.
Well, because was it Aiden saying that there wasn't anything that gruesome in this one? Was that you
No.
saying that after, or was that someone else?
Yeah,
Maybe
no, it was
I mean,
me. I
was
didn't think it was as
because then we were
gory.
like the hand part, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but I
that's like
agree with
I
that's
couldn't
Aiden.
look at the screen.
But I'm saying
I
like,
feel like there wasn't as much blood flying.
yeah, you watch
around.
Django Unchained,
okay.
like, dude, they just everyone explodes when they get shot.
Yeah, but that's what Tarantino loves.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
Tarantino.
But
This one is
still, I
more
think
down
that
to
would
the
be
fact
perfect for John
Keanu
Wick.
is fucking able to move like that. Like that's a big thing you got to remember. Keanu is moving like that. This isn't a
He does,
stunt
like,
double on his
80
body.
or 90% of his
Yeah,
stunts,
like
which
this
is
boy
sick.
is cruising. I'm assuming
Did he do the
didn't throw
stairs
himself-
thing when he was
I was
falling
gonna
down there?
say, I'm assuming he didn't throw himself out of the window, and I'm assuming he didn't do the stairs thing.
I don't know. I mean, he doesn't. When I listened to that podcast, they didn't mention all that because the movie wasn't out yet.
Damn, they should have waited.
But no, I mean, it's insane though. There is one thing about Keanu Reeves is he said that he'll retire after he hits 100 films, and then they were like, "How many films are you at?" He goes, "I have no idea." So,
Probably 300.
but you got to think like, what did we say? He's 58 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, he's done like random movies. Like, you got to think he's literally in Bill and Ted. He
Well, he
does
got his
Matrix.
start
He
from
started
Fortnite,
younger
don't
than Bill and
forget.
Ted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you got to remember
Fortnite
too,
was-
dude. Like this dude has been tossed through the ringer. Like his best friend was River Phoenix, and like River Phoenix, they claim like died from an overdose. Other people claim he was murdered, and on top of that, like he's lost so many people in the time that he's fucking been around. That like Buddy could retire whatever, and all of us would just say thank you for your service.
His
at this
first movie
point.
was 1985.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
No, it is
Speed is
insane.
another good
He's a
one.
good ass actor, and I do like how like the first movie was. What is that? Sorry.
The first one was very unique.
First one was unique and it was good. Like I think that's a masterpiece. But then
Yeah.
you obviously get to this fourth movie and it's more like action and comedy. Because half the shit's funny. He's like, "Are you ready to take on everyone, John Wick?" Yeah. Like it's just shit like that. Like it's just hilarious, you know?
I think because the first one kind of set the tone of like a new kind of action movie for us. You're not
Yeah.
used to that kind of like just brutal assassin where he's I guess a typical action movies too, people kind of just like they get something thrown at them and they die. Where this movie, like especially the first one, every person he hit shot in the head.
Yeah, he's
Which
got a
is-
double tap.
Yeah, which is a very different kind of like, oh yeah, he's really making sure that they are gone.
Well,
And he
yeah,
carries that throughout all four movies.
100%.
and it's sick too because now, like, it was already known John Wick isn't anyone to fucking play with, but now they have him as like a reaper. Anything he touches dies. So they send in some of the best assassins to take him out in this hotel in the beginning, bro. And he's murking them as if they're not wearing inches and inches of Kevlar. Like he does not give a fuck. He's whooping the fuck out of them, giving them concussions with just one hit of a nunchuck, and then they still want to try and kill him.
No, and I think it's cool. I like how
Yeah.
it starts off. You get that scene of him in the library,
Mm-hmm.
and he's with that big, huge, tall guy there,
Boban.
and yeah, and
Basketball
he's
player.
just and he's just like, oh, I don't want to have to do this, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to have to do this to you, like
Mhm.
Kills him with a book.
yeah.
I looked it up and I forgot he was in Toy Story 4. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, he was
And,
the
yeah,
fucking
Duke,
the motorcycle guy, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
And then
Evil Knievel.
yeah, and I looked it up how many movies he's been in, and it literally says at least 79.
Yeah,
So
Did they count
it's insane, man.
Cyberpunk as anything?
I
He
don't
was
know.
in Cyberpunk.
I just thought that was funny.
But no, I think my most like out of the 4 movies, because obviously this is a closer. I don't expect to see John Wick again. I mean, like you said, they could do a prequel.
They'll
He could
probably do
show up as a
prequel.
flashback or something in Ballerina, or he could not be dead and they just make another 4 movies. Like no one would be mad about
I hope.
that.
I was gonna
Now,
say,
I hope they don't pull a cheese.
No, yeah, I
I hope
hope
he's
it's
gone.
over. I think that was a good send off, but I think out of the 4 movies, the most anticipated I was ever was after 2 leading into 3. Because remember
Mhm.
2, like he kills that guy in the Continental and he's excommunicado,
yep,
and
dude,
then they're like,
that end when they're
everyone's
rolling
gonna
it
go
out,
for you.
bro.
And he's like,
Yes.
let them. And then literally we get to the 3rd movie and every single person's on his ass.
See, so Josh, did it say how much was in between 2 and 3? Because I swear that picks up like literally the next
They do,
day.
yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it just
It's
said the director
hours
just
after.
said. Yeah, the director just said between all 4, like from the first one
Okay.
to the last.
Okay,
Yeah,
so hopefully you
8
got
to
some
9
good
months.
sleep somewhere in there. But no, I don't know. I still think my favorite scene in all of this fucking series has to be when him and Common are shooting the silent pistols throughout the fucking train station while they're walking through it. I don't know why that scene is
That is
badass,
cool.
and I just crack up like a motherfucker watching that.
Yeah.
I really like the club scene in 2 or 3 when they're or no Theon. It's the first one.
First one, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. The first one was good, and he falls off the top. The guy
Mhm.
body slams him off the rail, and he's holding his ribs, and then he still fucks everyone up. God, dude.
Yeah, no,
I might have to
another
rewatch. I might have to do a John Wick rewatch.
I was gonna say I was itching
Fuck.
to do the same thing. I should have done it
God,
before we
dude.
went.
They're all on HBO. I might as well.
another scene I liked a lot, like action scene from this movie. Obviously the stairs are sweet, but the part where like he's in the car and the two front doors are missing.
Are you just
and
donuting and shooting
yeah,
out?
and and then like and the girl's like the wicked man from the Big Apple, and she's like playing like bangers.
Our
on the,
man
it
in
was sick.
dude, as soon as she said our man in black, hopefully we could paint him red. I was thinking, hopefully they play painted black. And then I
Yeah.
wish they would have just done the Stones version of it, but I am
Mhm.
happy that I got to hear the song.
Yeah, it was still
that
cool
was-
nonetheless. And within that 10 minutes, she played like 3 great songs.
Yeah, she did.
I love that, and that was like it was just cool. Like, but like I said, this is the most best shot action movie I've seen in a really long time, and it's gonna stay that way for a minute.
Yeah,
But,
Yeah,
like,
isn't it
even
funny
just
watching, like-
everything was just perfect.
Isn't it funny watching movies like we just did Shazam or like 65, like these big budget movies, in like comparison to this big budget movie where this one looks like way better than those. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
and that's
it's
actually
gotta be something
crazy.
about the camera, man. But there's
Yeah.
no way they don't all use the same camera. You know,
Well, no,
Shazam
and again,
is probably
it comes
the movie
down.
of the year.
It comes down to the person using the fucking camera. Because
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, they could have
where
had
did
a
this
low budget
guy-
camera with this one, and the motherfucker was just that good of a cinematographer that he was able to hit these angles and get these perfect shots for us.
yeah, and too, like what's cool.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say what's cool about it, like this being an extra movie too, is it does have like some comedy and a little bit dark, but
Mhm.
but like I said, that scene where he's driving around without the doors, and he's just when he's like going around that group of guys with the cars, and he's just
Mhm.
shooting at them constantly, like that was just funny. Like the longer it was going, the funnier it got, and like
Yeah.
too when he jumps out that window, and we all laugh.
Well, that and then the stairs scene, bro. He just kept fucking going. It's literally like what, 40 seconds of him. He walked up. I think how many steps did it say they were? 289. He must have
Yeah,
walked up
something
like
like that.
100 of them, and he fucking fell right back to the bottom. You think he's not gonna make it and be disqualified from the duel, and then Kane shows up, is like, "I need you to get up these stairs, John Wick." And then you
So
get to
cool.
see him and Kane, and before they go up there. And they fucking obviously they make it up there, but then Kane is just like, it's good to see. Or actually, no, it was a church scene where he said, "It's good to see you, my friend." But when they get to the top of the stairs, he goes, "You will be one," is what Kane says, and then he just cuts Wick's hand right before the duel.
Real quick, the director Chad Stahelski,
Mhm.
he's directed all 4 John Wick movies. He's gonna be the director of Ghost of Tsushima, which they're making
Ooh.
an adaptation, which is gonna be
Great game.
badass. And
Yeah.
then he's also doing the Rainbow Six movie, so
Ooh.
that'll be pretty sick.
Yeah, they got Michael B. Jordan
We're-
for that too.
But I'm looking
we're
at
renting out a theater for that.
he has 77 stunts that he's like obviously directed some kind of stunts for the movies. And it's literally every movie you can think of. Deadpool 2, Hunger Games, Red, Wolverine, Expendables, Hunger Games 2,
Wow.
Tron, Iron Man, Expendables, all the Wolverine movies, like even Beer Fest, like any movie you could think of, Mr. and Mrs. Smith,
Wow.
Spider-Man 2,
I
all the
know a
Matrixes.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, this guy's a badass.
So do you guys want to talk about like the duel? What do you guys think of that?
I'll
The
say it
one
right
you
now, best scene of the entire movie. I mean, we say that for every scene. So you know
Yeah.
it's a good ass movie, but when they're flipping the
was-
cards, I didn't understand what they were doing at first. You see,
Oh, you're
like,
talking
each one
about
of
for
them
the
go
duel
at
to
the
like
same
set the
the
time,
duel.
duel.
and then obviously whoever calls the higher number, draws the higher number, gets the pick. So the best one is like, what did Bill Skarsgård say? He wants knives.
Yeah, he
Uh,
wants
John Wick said
blades. He wants
pistols.
Wick said he
blades.
wants
And then
knives.
he goes, pistols.
I think
Yeah.
I think the best one up was the when you want to go now,
Now.
and he goes
He goes
sunrise.
sunrise, and then he goes now, and that was that shit. I was ready. I was ready to sit up after that.
Well, and it
course
makes
he doesn't
sense
get it.
now, knowing why he wanted to do it now, because
Yeah,
he knew that.
he
yeah.
knew again. He
He's
tried
gonna
to
fuck
throw
that guy up
everything in
regardless.
his way.
No, but he knew that he would send the whole fucking country after him.
Yeah.
Before the duel.
I leaned over to Spencer and said during that when Bill Skarsgård's like in his like office layer, whatever you want to call it, I go, why does every villain in every like big movie just happen to have a model map of the city of
Right, the 3D print like
Yeah.
replica.
And Spence said shout out to him on that. He said, I think that all evil villains have like an architect just on payroll just in case. Like
That's the one thing I do. Like, if you think back on all four of these movies, there's no like high tech gadgets. You know, like it's real.
I don't
natural.
I don't
mean, the
think that's the
suits, the
universe.
suits.
Yeah, I was gonna
they're
say
in.
the only real thing is the suits.
Yeah, I
the
mean that's
suits,
it. But yeah,
and
other
then
than that, there's no like
obviously-
crazy grenades that like are gonna fuck everyone up.
No,
you
I
know,
was gonna
like, shit
say,
like
but like
that.
obviously there's the idea of like the dragon breath shells being held by civilians, but at the same time you can remember
They're
alternate
all
universe.
assassins.
Yeah, exactly. Alternate universe. They're all assassins. They can get a good plug on that whenever the fuck they want. But we got to talk about it before I forget. We got a little Spider-Man. What the fuck was the last one? Far From Home? Was that the last one? We got a little Andrew
No Way Home.
Garfield, No Way Home, Andrew Garfield moment where he could literally kill Tracker, but sorry, he could kill nobody. Tracker's the dog, and Tracker's about to be killed by that fucking dickhead. I can't think of his name. And John Wick,
Killer.
instead of pulling the trigger on nobody, shoots the dude so that way he could save his dog. And even nobody sitting there just like, what the fuck just happened? Like he doesn't understand that Wick went through that whole fucking thing. And honestly, it's kind of funny, like maybe in an alternate universe, like if he did shoot, like let his dog get shot, like nobody would go on a rampage like fucking John Wick did in all of these movies.
Yeah.
But I thought that scene, dude, it was like, again, how the fuck do you get a heartwarming moment? Like numerous heartwarming moments in a movie
Like a
like
shootout?
this. Yeah, dude, like
Yeah,
this is fucking great.
I like that character arc too, like where he was just like, I'll kill John Wick, but I need the right price. And
Yeah.
the whole time he's kind of like defending
Whoa,
him.
what's crazy?
Yeah,
is
no, he's
he
helping
waited-
him
he
out.
Get the
He's
waited-
price
keeping
up.
him
It's
alive.
He
genius.
waited
It's
for like
genius.
another like $2 million. He's like, you did this over $2 million, bro.
Well, no, the thing is, the one like you gotta think he's like 25. Then he goes no. Then he finally gives him. He says 40. He goes, all right, do 40. He's like, nah, 50.
Yeah,
Like he just
Yeah.
kept switching. Like he
Where he kept
obviously didn't want to
hanging up
kill him.
on fucking Miskia.
Yeah, but I do like how he was there the entire time. Like he's even watching that final duel. He's the only assassin that's not affiliated with it there. And
He's literally
just sitting there
drinking a beer.
Yeah. And but he's just always there. And like you said, he's helping John Wick out. But like realistically, I wish they would have made it more obvious. Like, even if he did get the money, he's not gonna fucking kill John Wick. Like John Wick,
No.
he's watching him kill everybody. He's just getting a front row seat. Like he should be
yeah,
terrified
but you
of
got to
this guy.
think that guy was really good at kind of like being a nobody. He was kind of in the shadows. There were a
Yeah.
couple times where he just like shoots the guy that John Wick's battling. So that does say that at any point he could have probably just boom headshot at John Wick. But
Yeah, that's true.
And we
He's
never
looking-
figure out how
he
he
wants that.
finds him all the time either.
yeah, he
Yeah.
he
He's
wants
just
that money.
that good
Though.
at
He's
his
got to. He's got to.
job. He goes, you
We
have
also
to
gotta
find
think,
him first, and he's
what
like,
is it?
I
Is it
already
John Wick
did.
1 or 2 where Willem Dafoe's in it? I think it's the second one, right? Willem
Yes.
Dafoe's the sniper and he shoots the
Yeah, it's second one. He shoots the
priest.
bed to alert him,
Mhm.
right?
No, I think it's the first one.
Is it? I thought
Yeah.
he shoots the bed to alert him that someone assassin's coming in to kill him.
Ah, maybe it is. But
Remember
I
that
feel
woman
like,
comes in to
but
try
he's
to kill
always
him
in a
in the...
church though. Yeah, it is the
Oh.
second one.
I think it is the second one.
Yeah. But then I feel like he gets captured in a church in the first one too.
Yeah, he
he's
gets
always
captured quite a bit.
Yeah.
I
But
mean, he got captured
it's
in this
awesome.
movie when he went
that
with his
dude
family.
John gets out of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, all around, like, man, dude, start to finish, I really want to rewatch this movie now.
Dude, the duel, though, was
the only
so
thing I
cool.
can possibly think negative of this movie is that I had a fucking piss the entire time, dude.
Yeah, I did too. After like the
And I-
first 30
like,
minutes, I had to
you
get
can't
up.
pay attention at that point.
leaving. Because there was
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
that
actually,
around us, and I was
I
thinking,
forgot
fuck
about
you.
that. The movie was like starting, and I like leaned
You
over to
took off.
Josh, and I go, "Oh shit, this is 3 hours. I really want popcorn." And I like walked out, and then I saw the line was so long, and I was gonna get in it, and I went to pull out my wallet, and I go, "Oh fuck, my wallet's in my car." So at that point, I was just like, "All right, I'm committed to sitting in the movie." Because I never get popcorn or anything, but for a 3-hour event, I kind of need something.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
we went to the movies on Tuesday, and I was like, damn, I don't really want popcorn. I just got off work too, and I was like, if I get this large popcorn, I'm probably not gonna finish it because I'm not that hungry. I got a kids pack, man. I was starving. I was picking my finger trying to get every last kernel, man. I'm like, fuck. I was so hungry, man.
Well, that's what
Usually,
Mike
kids
does,
pack
right?
does it. I
Huh?
usually get a kids
Doesn't
pack.
Mike do the
No,
kids
I
pack?
never get the kids pack because it's
I
never
get
I think
the
enough.
Mike
kids pack.
does.
Yeah,
I do
Mike
too,
does.
actually.
I
when
know that
go.
Oh, really?
motherfucker Spencer always gets the kids pack.
Those
every
gummy
time we
bears are
go.
it. That's why I was literally in line. I saw Spencer walk away with it. I'm like, damn, I gotta get that. Especially goddamn cheese curds.
Dude, the one time, Josh, when we went and saw Elvis, because I came with
Yeah.
Emma, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, get whatever you want. I was like, I always get the kids pack. That's what I do. They gave me like this thing that you put a hot dog in. That's what they put my popcorn in. And they threw the fruit snacks on top. She goes, that's what you get? That looks like a trough for a pig. I go, normally it's
I would
in
have
a
just
cute
told him put it in a
box.
tray at least.
What's that
No,
one
it
trick
was
people do where
pathetic.
they buy the kids pack, I think, and then they pour it in the... Have you seen like adults do that?
No,
Well,
it's you just get a large. My mom and I do that. And
Oh,
then
you get a
ask for
large,
We
you
get
put
the
a
tray.
large, then you ask
Oh,
for the
tray.
tray, and it
And
has
you
the
just
two
dump
cup
it.
holders on it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what we
That's
used to
what
do all the
people
time
do.
with my aunt. So that way she's like, I'm not getting up for you guys. I'm paying for this movie. I'm sitting in here. We're like, all right, that's
Oh.
fair. So she
Oh,
would
so you
get
buy a large
that.
for it.
Yeah, and so then you
Okay.
would be like, give me the tray, you pour in the large, and then you give them back the bag like refill now.
Oh, I
Oh,
never did
wow,
that,
okay.
but
And
that
I would
works,
just
huh?
split.
Yeah.
But that is a way to do it.
Huh. Yeah, but yeah, to talk about the duel, you know, with between him and Kane, and obviously, like at this point, we're in love with both characters. You know, and obviously,
Well,
we know
again, the
that...
thing is like you love Kane, but then you hold resentment knowing that he just murked his fucking boy. And it
Yeah, I
doesn't-
mean, if he died, he died. I wouldn't feel
Yeah,
any remorse
it's not
for
like I
that.
would have felt bad about it. And it's like, yeah, like he died, but assuming John Wick lived, he probably would have protected his daughter for him.
Yeah, but I just felt bad for... Yeah, exactly. And I felt bad for Kane's daughter, and I just hated Bill Skarsgård so much. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
he
he's
was
such a
good.
scumbag.
He
That's
was
like...
good.
Yeah, it's like, wow,
Yeah,
Kane's
dude.
gonna die for him. Like,
Mhm.
this sucks. Like, I don't want to watch this. And then like the fact that like John and him are friends, you know,
Yeah.
are
Well,
friendly.
because
at least,
Kane
so.
even said, "Fight your own battles," and he's like, "You do this, we'll let you and your daughter out." It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then you
it's
find
good that
out
Kane
too.
had a reason to do all that.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
find out too towards like the end that he goes, or it was right after the club thing when they're standing on the roof. It's him and nobody, and Kane stops him from taking the shot at John Wick, and then he's talking about his eyes, and he goes, like it's fucked up. They took them from you. He goes, they didn't take it from me. I took them.
No, I gave them.
Yeah, I gave them.
them.
That's
Yeah,
what
I was
it
like,
is.
damn.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, man.
I don't know,
like,
but see, that's the best part about like John Wick and like the whole universe that they're in, because we could have a whole like ballerina. Like we could have like it could be based off of just Ana de Armas, or it could be Kane. Kane has like an episode, you know, where we see kind of like his origin, and then you could bring how John Wick is affiliated with each of them, which would be even sweeter. So
Yeah,
like
'cause
each episode is to a person that we've seen.
now
That'd be
this
cool.
is gonna be stupid, but again, I've seen all these movies, but I watched the first three in the span of a day and a half with my buddy back in 2020. Don't remember a lot. Did we get like a ton of background on the family that he joined and how he even got introduced to the assassin game and how he became the fucking best and the
That
man
was
to be
mostly number
feared?
2.
A
Because
Yeah,
little.
2
it
they
gets
showed the blood marker.
they mention a little
Okay.
bit in the first one too, but
See,
not to
because
the
I
extent
remember bits
that
and
2 does.
pieces, but like we don't hear about him being a young boy that was saved by this family that took him in, and then to see him, get what's it called, like the pin or the crest, get the crest and the fucking tattoo, and
No,
then on
they
top
do.
of
I think
that,
they show them when he goes in
do
there.
they?
We see all the ballerinas and shit inside the school, and then we see
Mhm.
the family, and then that's where he gets the upside down cross like on his back, right on his spine, and that's
Okay.
like all that. I
Okay.
like how they like gave him that crest again on his arm. That
Yeah,
shit was
yeah.
sick, too. They're just drinking vodka
Mhm.
and they're
And
just saying crazy
they
shit.
take the double shot before they even pour the vodka over the
Yeah.
fucking fresh wound.
I love that though.
Yeah.
But
And I guess I had a feeling when they're when John tells what's his name about the tombstone, Winston, when he tells
Oh,
Winston about the
yeah.
tombstone, and he says like what he wants on his
Yeah, he just goes loving husband.
yeah, loving husband. I like turned and I don't know if I said it to Andrew or if I said it to I forgot who else. Oh, it's Cody. I think I said it to Cody. I turned to Cody. I go, are they killing him? Is he gonna die?
Well, that's
I don't
funny
know why
'cause
I didn't think it was a possibility. I don't
it's
know
funny
why.
because me and Hedvina were sitting there, and Hedvina leans over and goes, "Oh, he's dead as hell." And I go, "Shut the fuck up, Mike! Like he has a chance." Hedvina, like 5 minutes later, I think it was that scene about the loving husband. He goes, "Dude, he's dead for sure." And I go, "Mike, shut up."
I mean, I wasn't thinking about like when you heard that, I'm like, all right, maybe like we'll see that eventually. But then like the end happened, I was like, all right, they did a good job. Like I definitely
Yeah, to
like
go out in a duel for his freedom, I feel like that's the best way to do it, right?
100%. And that's what he wanted. He wanted to die, realistically.
Yeah.
Like he just
And he
wanted
died
to,
a free man.
yeah, and that's the thing. He would if he would have died, he didn't want to die being under the high table.
Yeah.
Where everyone's still coming at him,
Yeah,
He's
dude,
gonna
I
go out.
thought I remembered the high table only being 7, not 12. It's like that's way harder to smoke everybody. Because I thought for sure this movie would be like we'd get like a montage of him killing like 8 of the fucking high table, and then like chasing down the last 4 would be like the last hour of it. I didn't think the whole time we'd be just, like, I guess I wouldn't say, I almost said stuck, but stuck isn't the right word because again the story worked out perfectly. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. What did you think of his trick into killing Bill Skarsgård and,
So
and all that?
good,
That was
dude.
so cool.
I
What's
did
he
not
say?
expect it
He
at
goes,
all.
"You ignorant fool."
Oh,
He
see,
didn't even
I
take his shot. I thought
Yeah,
he shot for sure.
I thought he
Oh,
shot,
see,
'cause
I
they-
turned to
they put
Andrew.
smoke.
Andrew, do you remember this?
I do, yeah.
I turned
thought
to
he
Andrew. I
shot.
go, he didn't
I
shoot
thought
yet.
he
He didn't
shot.
shoot yet.
And
it
as
was
soon
right.
as Josh said that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, and I shouldn't have said it, I guess, because I didn't want to. I shouldn't have ruined it for you.
Dick.
But I noticed that he didn't
Face.
shoot.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a clever spot.
It was
No,
really
I
cool.
definitely
Which
love that
does
part
make
because
sense.
that entire last like duel scene, I'm like, how could this like, how could this finish? How could this play out?
Mhm.
And I'm like looking at it, I'm trying to think of every different scenario in my head, and then when that happens, like he's like, "You ignorant bastard."
Yeah.
He didn't even shoot yet, and then he
Yeah.
just pops him right in the eyes. I'm
No,
like,
you see what I thought was about to play out. It would have been so weird as if Winston would have been like, the old rules say I could finish the duel because he technically wasn't dead yet. So I thought Winston and fucking Monsieur were gonna go after it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
wow.
would be good. But then again, I don't know the rules, but I didn't know that he could just go and pick up where he left off.
How do you not know the rules? You should know all.
You should have read up on it before.
Yeah, come on,
man.
motherfucker.
Should've read the fucking rule book.
Aiden, I know on the walkout you said or you mentioned that there was an end credit scene.
Yeah.
Did you end
I
up
don't even
watching
know.
it
I
at
didn't
all?
even look it up. Did anyone?
Oh, okay. I didn't look it up either.
Plug
I
it
just
right
saw
here.
on Twitter that there was an end credit scene and it wasn't worth waiting for.
Again, it was a
Okay.
3-hour movie. We all really had to pee and had bowling on
I
our
would have
minds,
waited,
so
I
we
didn't
ran
know.
out of there.
I didn't know either. Yeah,
I only
you told
expected
us
for
after
Marvel
we
movies.
walked out.
Well, it's funny because I did say that on the way out. I go, "Oh, is there an end credit? Is fucking Nick Fury about to pop up?" And everyone's like, "Ah!" We just walked out.
Well, yeah, because I think Cody asked me if there was, and I'm getting sick of going to the movies with Cody because he asked me for every movie, and I'm like, no, dude, they don't have one. And then of course Aiden's
No,
like, hey,
dude,
they had one.
quit being an idiot, Cody. Not every
Yeah,
movie
Cody.
has an end credit.
Yeah, Cody, it's not
Cody.
Iron Man, all right? We're good.
He's not gonna listen to this.
Yeah. No, and then yeah, we're outside. And Dean's like, "Oh yeah, no, there was an end credit scene." And I was like, "Oh okay,
We're already back at the car.
it's all right.
He's
We
just
only
like,
have a
"Oh,
movie
yeah."
podcast where we're going to talk about it."
Cody, text me the number 2, just the number 2, if you listened
Yeah.
and got to this point.
And Sanch texts him the number 3.
Sanch, I love you so much.
Yeah, I no, so I think the ending there, and then like what Brian said earlier about the how amazing this movie looked. I think with him, like when he tells Winston like, "Please bring me home,"
Yeah.
and then like goes on the steps and just like you see the sun like rising right over his shoulders. So cool.
I didn't think he was gonna make
Such
it
a cool
at
shot.
that point.
Yeah,
I
and I mean,
gone.
again, there
Yeah.
is foreshadowing because Winston goes, "It's beautiful sunset," and it's kind of like as if they know,
All right.
or sunrise.
Well, let's
Sorry.
bring his body home.
Hey,
He's bringing his body home.
Let's talk
Right,
about the end
right,
credit
right.
scene real quick.
Yeah.
I just watched it. It's 50 seconds long. It's Kane coming up the stairs, and he's got his daughter's playing the violin in front of like that same place where she was, and he's got a bouquet of like blue flowers, and he's like smiling, going to see her, following the music to go, and then he takes a whiff of them, and then you see Kira with a hood on, and she just pops a knife, and then right when she goes up to him, it just cuts to black.
Let's go.
That sounds like it was worth it.
Yeah,
that sounds like
cool.
I should have definitely
it's
seen
definitely
that.
worth it.
Damn, Aiden.
I had to
Hey,
be so bad. I don't give a
Hey,
shit.
everybody, tweet at Aiden.
It was
Ooh,
literally the
yeah,
end of the
boo.
credits, though. So we honestly could have went. We could have peed.
Yeah,
and
we
went
could have
back
peed,
in.
came back.
Pray
got a refill
Aiden
on our
isn't such
drink.
a dick.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll
I
send
can't
it to you
believe you
guys.
gate
but
kept
that is pretty
fucking
good.
end
Dude,
credits.
That is cool.
I didn't know
Gatekeeper.
anything about it. I'm literally just watched it.
Hashtag Aiden, hashtag gatekeeper.
Well, like, okay, so like Marvel, for example, will do end credit scenes where it's really stupid, where I don't know, Ant-Man's playing the drums or something like that, where it isn't worth it. But I was like, what would John Wick end credit scene be
But
where it's not
that's
worth
the thing
it?
is that
Sounds
I
like
didn't
something
hear,
incredibly
I didn't hear-
crucial to the entire plot.
I didn't hear anything about it. I just saw there is
You
one
should
end
have
credit
just
scene.
told us. We don't need to know if it's good or bad.
I did. I said it.
After
Whatever.
we were
Hey,
out.
I saw it on Twitter. Someone goes, "There's an end credit for John Wick, but I don't believe that it's worth waiting for." So I just said,
That
"Okay."
guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
that
is
guy's a
fucking-
moron.
Well,
Find that tweet,
so
Aiden.
do you
We're
think
about
they'll
to
make a
cyberbully
Kane
you.
movie? That'd be kind of cool.
That's kind of what I
or-
thought the next John Wick movie was gonna be. Not an what's her name movie?
Ana de Armas.
Yeah, Ana de Armas. I didn't think we'd get
yeah.
her.
Well, that's
I
a
thought-
show, right? Right, Aiden?
Yeah, it's a show.
Ballerina.
Yep. But then again, like
Interesting.
I don't know. It could be where she's in the same family as John Wick. I don't think anyone knows anything about it. I think they just know that it's a spinoff.
Yeah, because I remember us talking about it a while ago, and I thought maybe she'd show up in this movie because obviously I didn't want to look it up because I didn't want to be spoiled, but I thought maybe she'd show up at some point.
Oh, I'd
So-
recognize Marilyn Monroe from anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if Akira's like hunting Keen down and all that, it would be cool to make like a movie where like maybe I don't know the first third of it is like before he loses his eyes or something like that. That might be cool to see that.
Or if they just sprinkled it in throughout the whole thing.
Sure. Yeah, like that'd be kind of cool just as a background because I think we all really like the character a lot. And
Mhm.
obviously he's a badass who could stand up with John Wick almost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, they fought toe to toe and
And
he's
fucking
blind.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
see what he's
so-
like pre-blind, you know?
Yeah, and I think all
Um,
his scenes were really exciting. To
But
watch.
yeah, my thought process was I said it a little bit. I can't talk. Like I said earlier, I thought that the next John Wick would be like Winston and blanking on the other guy's name. The fuck is Fishburne's name in the movie?
Oh, the King.
The King. I thought the King and
he's,
Winston would take Kira under
Bowery
their
King.
arm, and then Kira would be going after Kane.
Mm.
Because again, and then I figured the movie would start with the father dying and then Kane being like, "I'll see you later," and it's just like shit.
They push these movies
Yeah.
out fairly quick. So
Yeah, when did that third one come out?
third one came out in 2019, but you got to think COVID.
2019? COVID, yeah.
COVID.
But first one came out in 2014, second one came out 2017, third 2019, and then this one 2023.
Well, because I think originally this movie was supposed to come out the same month as The Matrix Resurrected or whatever that fucking movie that was terrible was
Resurrection.
called. Yeah,
That shit
and they're
was-
both supposed to come out in the same month.
That
and
was
it
honestly
his
one of the
birthday
worst
month.
movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Was Keanu good in
Yeah.
it though? At least
I
he's
mean,
good in
yeah,
everything.
but he's not like I don't even
Lawrence
know how he
Fishburne
agreed
didn't
to
make
do
it
that.
an appearance at all in the fourth one, right?
No, he was on a screen where he appeared in it, but they recast.
No,
like
but they
everyone else.
recasted his character.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was
Fuck out of
awful.
here then.
And Barney from Friends is the villain.
Barney
Yeah.
from How I Met Your Mother.
How I
Yeah.
Met Your Mother. Fuck.
Yeah, I didn't know
Um,
that. Maybe I will give this movie a go.
No, dude, it's so bad.
Are we forgetting any other scenes? Obviously, we harped on the dragon
Uh,
breath scene being sweet. Like that is
that
the best
was
scene
the
in all four
best.
movies. I don't care what you say. It was a
There
3 minute straight action scene.
there's
Yeah.
like three little things I feel like should be mentioned. One, Kira climbing up the guy with the knives
That was sick.
was fucking
Like a
sick.
mountain.
Yeah, because this guy's like a big motherfucker. And she's on his back with two blades. Climbing
Yeah.
up, that was badass. The club scene in Berlin when it first starts off, I really like. You just hear the bass bump and you don't know what's about to happen. Claude, was that his name?
I don't know.
Klaus, whatever.
No,
the
Klaus
fuck.
was the guy that was with John Wick from
Yeah,
his
yeah,
family.
but he drops him off, right? And
Yeah.
you're like, okay, does John Wick
Yeah.
just have a gun on him? And then boom, Kane's waiting. Nobody pulls up. Awesome. But then when he's looking at the big Russian dude and he goes, "What are you here for, John Wick?" And he goes, "I'm here to kill you." And he goes, "I
Yeah.
will kill you." And then so he cuts
Play a
him
little
with
poker.
the card, bro. He cuts him with the card, right? And he fucking Kane calling all the cards, badass line. And then he goes, "I knew that you were a lying bastard." Whatever, badass. But dude, John Wick taking him down by putting his thumb in the neck slit of the card was so fucking hard to watch, but I loved it.
My greatest thing about this movie is I would love to see it behind the scenes, like, you know, how it was shot and all that, because I really want to know what was like a natural shot, like at an actual place, and what was CGI. Like, is that club, like that layout of the floor, is that a real thing? Because like that would be the sweetest place to go. When they're on the hill in front of the church at sunrise, like looking over Paris. Like,
Yeah.
is that a real spot? Like, you know, is everything like natural? And even the museum, when he's got all those huge paintings there, and he's got that little carpet with like his little like living room area. Like, dude, that's so badass.
Those paintings are huge.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I
Is,
was
like,
thinking how much are those worth when I was watching it.
Yeah, like, and I wonder what's CGI and what's not. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or dude, with the part with the cars is like going around in
Yeah.
that circle and like everyone's getting hit by cars and thrown
Yeah.
around by cars.
You know, that was one thing that made me crack up too. John Wick got hit by like 3 different cars. It was just
In like 30
back
seconds.
up,
We
dude.
do have to give it to the. We didn't mention the arrow scene when what's her name, Kira?
Mhm.
Akira, when she goes and she's just hitting them right in the legs and they're literally stuck like like a video game.
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
like,
that was cool
damn,
because you
man.
see the leg get pinned up and then they like knock the dude out and the leg's still pinned and he just falls
Dude,
back.
it's so
That was
good.
nice.
And then the scene when they're at the I don't know if it's Versailles or whatever that monument is in Paris, but when the
Eiffel
car hits
Tower.
the guy and he triple taps him while he's in the air.
Yeah.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can, unless
Get
anyone
into
else has
reviews?
something to say, we can get in
Let's hit
reviews.
the reviews.
So wait, remind me again.
Oh,
real
the
quick,
the
Josh,
Viper
you-
pistol is cool.
Oh
Gotta say
yeah,
that.
dude.
That was
And the
cool.
car scene too, he drops it right at the beginning of the car
Picks it
scene,
up.
and he literally goes, turns around and fucking like drifts the car so he can scoop it up, dude.
I wish
That
you would have
was
killed a few people
badass.
after he picked it up. Like,
I
immediately
agree.
just shot.
But
And I
dude,
was
he
waiting
stabbed
for
a
it,
couple
then he
people
cut.
with it.
Yeah. I was waiting for that too because he goes, "This will have a bite on it for what does he say? Your more intimate interactions."
Yeah. Oh, we got to talk about the part where the dog pisses on the guy after they kill him.
Yeah, that was
finally.
great.
Yeah, his
that was
revenge.
so
We didn't even
pleasing.
mention that. I would've been
Everyone in our
pissed.
theater was literally cheering.
Laughing.
I was
Yeah.
glad, bro. I haven't, like I said, I haven't been in this little of a theater in a while. Maybe it's like a thing with being on the west side. People don't get down like that. But
I think
being
you
in
gotta
that
come home
theater
more often.
was the most fucking fun. Well, if we keep watching them on Friday, I fucking can.
I think they did it just for
Can't
you.
go
honestly.
Thursday.
Yeah, I had to pay everyone in here to get
Yeah,
that.
we
Thanks,
had to pay
Andrew.
everyone.
You're a real
Sure.
fucking friend for that. I thought maybe my podcast brothers would be cool with it, but
No, this was definitely the funniest movie out of the 4. Was it
Mhm.
not?
Yeah,
Like, I
I
thought there
think
was
so.
just little bits, especially like the way he was talking and the dog peeing scene. Like, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
Oh, and also really quickly, the stair scene. Kane is like, again, they know that he's blind, but they know that he can kick the shit out of people. So there's that scene, he's literally behind the tree, not even looking, just blasting the fucking gun so people stay back while he's fucking getting rearranged again.
Yeah.
They shoot at nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, that whole stairs part was really cool. They just kept topping themselves. Each scene was really cool. Yeah, that whole last hour is like amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I mean, we can get into reviews. Someone want to
Wait,
start? You want me to
really
start?
quickly, Josh, before we get into them, can you remind me what the critic and audience score was for this?
both are 94.
Both are 94?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
fucking
actually,
deserved.
it's funny. I updated it, and the audience one actually moved up to 95. So 94, 95. So when we started, it was 94 across the board, though.
I can start off. I mean, we already hit every single point of the movie, basically. Like I said, this is my favorite John Wick movie out of the four. I would just say cinematography wise, and I don't know if I could say action wise, but story wise for sure. I love the runtime. I liked how it was 3 hours, especially being a send off. Um, I mean, the shots, man, like I can't get over some of them, especially like the aerial shot of the dragon's breath. Like right when they just show that one random assassin just see the dragon's breath ammo, you're like, damn, dude, he's got to get his hands on that. And then it happens, and then
Pretty quickly.
the whole camera angle just pans up slowly, and it's just like, oh my god. And then right when you think it's over, it goes down a little bit. He like reloads his gun or some shit, and then he starts killing people again. It goes right back up. I'm like, ah. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the John Wick universe, and I mean, I think it's really unique, and I mean, I hope we see more of it. It sucks that this is the final movie, but I think they did a good ass job on it. So, cutting it short, I mean, I think that this movie deserves a 97 out of 100. It's in contention for movie of the year, you know.
rank
enjoyed
the
every
4
second.
movies too.
4 movies.
Yeah, rank them. We'll do.
I would
we'll
have to
do that
go.
at the end of each.
So I'm gonna have to go first one, just because from start to finish, it's a masterpiece.
Okay.
Original ass story, nothing you've ever seen before, and there's not one bad part of that entire movie. It's sad as hell at the beginning, and it's badass at the same time. But I would do 1, 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're none of them are bad.
Yeah. No, they're not.
all
Yeah,
great.
again, we're all.
I think
premising
I actually completely agree with
none
yours.
of
I would
these-
say 1, 4,
yeah.
3, 2.
Honestly, I'll go next, but in ordering them, I'm like
Yeah.
this. I'm like that. I'm that guy. I go
You're
for
him.
1, 3, 2. I don't know, dude. 1 was a
1, 4, 3,
fucking
2?
classic. No, 4, 1, 3, 2. I
Okay.
think though with this fourth one, I like the way it was broken up. I like the way that this was a good send off, and then you add this banging fucking cinematography, bro. Like, there's no reason it had to go that fucking hard.
No, dude, it's so
Like,
good.
it was so sick. And again, I'm gonna keep bringing up that Berlin club scene. They're just standing there with this water feature, bro, just fighting all over. Like, that was fucking badass. Also, John Wick got launched off another 2 stories in there. Back
Yeah,
should have
it's
been
all
broken.
right.
But no, dude. And again, you get this little bit of background of like whose John's family was in the beginning of this all before he became the man that he is. And then you get this background of Kane, and then you get to see what's the Tokyo guy's name? Have we even said it at all throughout this podcast?
No, it is Hiroyuki Sanada.
All right, so Mr.
And his
Sanada,
name was Shimazu.
Shimazu, that motherfucker was just cool as hell. And again, he gave us this
He was
badass. He gave us this badass statement off rip where he just goes, "Friendship doesn't mean anything when it's convenient." And you're like sitting there, and again, we're surrounded by it's all of our friends. Now we're all on a podcast together. It's just like fuck, like that is awesome. And again, to have feel good movies and an action movie like this, again, we're all there for the bang bang pop pop. Oh, it's sick. You gotta love it. You love to see it. And then on top of that, I already said it. Keanu Reeves moves like that. Like this isn't like, oh,
he's
like
doing
we'll
all
just
of
put
it.
his face over it. No, that motherfucker moves like that. We've all seen the training clips of him running through empty firing ranges, just moving like a madman. Like, shout out that man. Give him all his flowers. Give fucking oh goodness, I'm blanking on his name. The dude that just passed away. Give him his flowers. I thought he had a good send off.
Lance Reddick.
Yeah, Lance Reddick in a bad way. Again, R.I.P. to the king. But everyone involved in this movie, great fucking job. I'm with Aiden on this 97 all the way through and through. Get out there and watch it. Even if you haven't seen the first 3, I mean, you're in for a treat watching those first 3, but you could probably watch this 4th one and pick up on what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think outside of the original, I think this is easily the best sequel. But that being said, I don't think there's not a bad one at all. I could sit there and watch any of them and be, very happy and be enthralled with what I'm watching. And
entertained, and yeah, I think I'd agree with Aiden. I would say the same ranking he did. First, fourth, third, and second. I think with this movie, obviously it has, the things where it's like, oh, how did he walk off that 5-story tumble that he took, or why isn't he reloading his pistol? And like in your mind, you're like, he probably just reloaded it off screen. I mean, that's what I think in my head. But obviously, like, it's part of the fun. Like you kind of do turn off your mind a little bit or your brain a little bit when you're watching these. Not to the extent of like a Fast and Furious movie where it's like, what the fuck is going on here? This is like fun, and you're rooting for John and watching him just mow through people. Like he's like, I'm gonna kill everybody, and you're like, yep, he definitely will, and he does. And it's cool to watch that happen. It's not like all flawless where he's doing it, constantly mowing through people. Like, no, he'll get hit, knocked around a little bit, and he shrugs it off and gets back up and keeps fighting. So I think this was a great send off for the character. I'm interested to see where they take things going forward. Obviously, they've been in talks of doing a show and stuff like that, but obviously, I think this will probably end up being top 10 movie of the year. We'll see. I'm going to give it a 96%. Obviously, there's a ton of good movies this year. But this is a great movie. It was a little bit higher than what I was expecting to give it. So, it's kind of crazy that this is the fourth movie that I'm going into for this franchise, and like it went above my expectations, and I think I can say that for almost all of us. So that was very cool. So yeah.
I do want to mention real quick before you close it out, Andrew. But from John Wick 1, the action scenes, like, I mean, if you know stuff about guns, like if there's 8 bullets in the mag, he shoots 8 bullets on screen. So like everything's realistic as shit. So that's another thing to consider,
And they do get better every movie too.
Yeah.
To know
the action scenes, I'd say.
You guys kind of mentioned anything and everything I could say. I'll just real quick, like Josh said, some of the scenes are a little bit goofy, but that's part of the fun of it. The cinematography, as you guys said, pretty awesome in my opinion. Another thing that I'll mention, I don't know if we did, but the choreography work that has to go into one of these movies. Holy cow!
Yeah, one guy fucks up. But
I was gonna say because it's like three guys on like one fight, so that we can get every angle.
And there were a lot of people on screen at one time.
So the people in charge of the choreography, they also deserve their flowers, because you couldn't do a movie like this without that. With that said, I am going a lot lower than these guys.
95.
I want to see your guys' faces. I'm actually going with the 94.
But Andrew.
Oh, the same as the critics, huh?
Andrew, did you have fun?
I did. Is it the same as the critics?
Yes, critics and audiences gave it a 94.
Damn, and I just ripped into you for being
this guy.
Yeah, and you're just like, I'll do the exact same score.
I wrote it down in advance. I actually didn't even hear you say 94, to be fair. But no, because 95 to me, like I'm thinking like what would the first one be? Also, my order would be 1, 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
I feel like the first one for me would be like a 97, like right where you guys put this one. So I gotta drop this down a little bit. I feel like the second one in last place, I'd probably have that at like an 89 if I were to give it a score, like right under that 90 range. But overall, this is a good movie. This is a great series. I imagine if you're listening to this on the podcast, then you've hopefully seen John Wick 1, 2, 3, and probably 4. But if somehow you've only seen the first one, or you haven't seen any of them, or you've seen 1, 2, or whatever the hell combination you've watched, watch all 4. Watch this movie. It's worth watching. I think,
and I'm sure we'll definitely rewind an older one soon.
I could see that happening. Yeah.
For sure.
And I will also say that, like these guys said, right now this is definitely a contender for one of the best movies of the year.
I want to talk about real quick what movies we got up for this year that you think are going to be contending with this, because I got Oppenheimer and my number 1 pick is Spider-Verse 2.
Oppenheimer is number 1.
I mean, you could name 3 or 4 movies that are just coming out in June alone that could be top 10 contenders.
Yeah, who knows? Flash might be a fucking banger.
Well, my thing with this movie, to anyone that hasn't seen it, I recommend going to see it on the biggest screen possible. I couldn't imagine watching this at home. It would not be like
hearing like feeling the thumps because how much bass was behind the guns.
100%.
Like you're sitting just boom boom.
Dude, and this movie had so many scenes too where like, you know, we're in recliners, so we're like leaning back, and there's like so many points where like I'm sitting up for this one.
Yeah,
Like
I
I'm
moved my
sitting up for
chair.
this moment.
I moved my chair for the duel, so that way I was like actually
Yeah.
upright. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
let's go.
Aiden,
Yeah.
did you think that this movie was? I did personally. Did you think this was quieter than 65?
Dude, 65 was one of the loudest movies I've ever seen.
I don't know.
I swear to
what
God,
they
right when
did
I
to
sat
that
down, I'm like,
theater.
God damn it, because I
Was it an
knew-
epic?
No, it was in a
Oh.
small little shit
Oh,
theater.
wow.
That's
But I
why.
literally walked outside, Josh, and my
Yeah.
ears were like ringing.
Ringing. And like you got used to it like throughout the movie, but there were like I don't think there were any parts of that movie where it was like dead silent. Like it was just
No,
something
it's-
always going on. But
Yeah, it was-
right when we sat down and I heard the opening like scene, I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. Because I knew it
Gotta
was
bring
gonna
your
hurt my
head, your
ears.
earplugs.
Yeah, I
Luckily, it
was like,
wasn't
"Damn."
as long as this movie was.
No, it's definitely
That's
yeah.
true.
They should have tweaked it for sure. Because
Yeah.
some days I think I'm going deaf, and then some days I'm like, God damn, turn that shit down.
I didn't think it was too hot this time either. Usually that,
No,
that
it was
epic
perfect.
theater can get
What did we see that
Yeah.
was hot as shit?
toasty.
Oh, it was
Ah,
recent,
something-
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Recent.
yeah, it was recent because Josh, you texted me and was like, it wasn't even.
Nick
as hot
Pell
as
Yeah,
went,
Nick Pell
Ant-Man.
came with us.
It was Ant-Man.
Oh, Ant-Man. Ant-Man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my only comparison was when we went and saw fucking Batman, and I like took
The
my
Batman,
hoodie
yeah.
off, and the guy next to me was like, "Dude, it's hot as hell in here." And I go,
Should have
"Damn, I
let me
thought
go
it
up there
was
and go
me."
tweak that RTU, man.
Yeah, because Mike had a flannel on and then a jacket over it. I'm like,
And then he was
and
naked
he didn't.
by like the second scene.
No, dude. We get up because we're about to leave, and he then takes off his hoodie like as we're walking out. I'm like, what? Why did you have that on the whole time?
He's sweating out, sweating out the
Yeah.
beers he had.
I guess.
It's like wearing a trash bag.
But yeah, that was our John Wick 4 Chapter 4 review. What do we got next week? Oh, Aiden's pick, Clockwork Orange, right?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Orange is the new
sir.
black.
no.
Similar.
But that's
similar, I
that's
get it.
the rewind for this week though, and I hope you boys
This
start
upcoming
that
week.
tonight or
I
start
got,
it tomorrow night.
I got
'cause
one more
it's a
thing to
Great
add.
movie.
Sanch, just go ahead. I know you're here. You're listening. You're one of our biggest fans. We love you.
He's not here till the end.
Go ahead. Text me your score. I want to know what it is. Let us know if we were wrong.
What did he see? Did he see it yesterday?
Yeah, he went
I saw
Sunday,
it Sunday.
night.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah, I forgot it's
text
Tuesday
me,
already.
he said it was
Fuck.
badass. He said it was
He didn't have
sick.
power for a couple days.
Damn.
Ah,
So,
jeez.
kind of sucks. Yeah.
Should have fed the
Um,
hamster.
Yeah. But all right, boys.
All right, boys. I love you guys.
All right.
Back Tuesday.
Yeah,
Peace
be
out.
good.
We'll see you for my pick. I hope to see all three of your faces.
Woo, woo. Yes,
Michael being
sir.
an exception. So
Yep.
Yeah, he's
Getting his life together.
All right, boys.
All right,
See you next
boys.
week. Peace out.